4 months after we implemented the RxSafe, we saw a reduction in labor hours, technician hours, from 2 to 250 hours per month. This reduction basically covers the cost of the RxSafe. Now that we have the RxSafe and it's freed up some technician help, we have started to do some blister packaging to help people with their medication adherence. And we are also now just getting started in doing our own MTMs and CMRs so that our Medicare star rating will go up.
So we realized our ROI within the first year. But of course, as this is an ongoing thing that we're using every day, just the value grows over time the longer that we use it. Because of the RxSafe, we were able to add other programs such as the medication synchronization program. So that program alone allowed us to grow our sales by over 25% in 1 year, which is really unheard of for a pharmacy that's been in business as long as we have. So it's been great. So when we started with RxSafe, our payroll was at about 9%, which was pretty good, but now we're at closer to 7.3%. So our business consultant is much happier with us now.
Well, in our pharmacy, we have a lot of programs. So having RxSafe on board, we have wellness programs, sync programs, DME, we have tons of stuff. And having RxSafe allowed me to actually utilize my best staff in areas where I was never able to implement the programs. So now the people who used to count, now they're working on sync program and they're doing a phenomenal job. Having RxSafe on board allowed me to cut my costs almost by half.
I'd say the RxSafe saved me both time and money. From the standpoint of money, I can tell you that just from the relocation alone, at least for my financial projection analysis, it was roughly about a $60,000 to $80,000 savings, okay, which I gladly, was very happy about. But just thinking out loud, I would say easily, it has probably saved me at least one staff member. And if you gauge what the staff member costs for a technician, that's probably about $30,000 to $40,000 a year, I think, at minimum. As a result of implementing the RxSafe in our pharmacy, we're able to actually increase the amount of time that some of our pharmacists and staff can allocate to separate programs such as MedSync or MTM. And I'd say that probably about 20–30% of their time was able to be deployed towards those different types of services. I'd say definitely our return on investment was roughly about a year for this machine, mainly because of the fact that right off the bat, I didn't have to move, okay? And the cost of that was just honestly pretty large, and that savings was pretty upfront for us. So from that vantage point, absolutely, but I think it's one of those where even after the first year, you're constantly seeing increases to our bottom line in terms of profitability by us being able to minimize some of the increases in staff that we might have otherwise have had to incorporate into the operation.
We are no longer paying our pharmacists to do dispensing activities that can be done by one of our support team members. Our pharmacists are focused on the clinical activities that help provide better care to our patients. So in that way, it's definitely saving us money. And I've got my most expensive resource allocated to the work that I really need them to focus on. And as far as time goes, the previous process for dispensing controlled substances was just not ideal by any means. It was very inefficient, and RxSafe has provided a much more efficient process for us to dispense controls. The financial performance for Carolina Care has tremendously improved since we have implemented the RxSafe. With the additional time that the RxSafe has afforded our team, we have been able to initiate a new specialty pharmacy service here at Carolina Care. We have a team that's dedicated to the specialty pharmacy service, processing the prescriptions on the front end. The dispensing activity we've now been able to bring to the fulfillment center at Carolina Care, and we are now dispensing a high number of specialty medications on a daily basis, with some of the time we spent previously on other dispensing activities. We've been able to implement what has been a very financially rewarding specialty pharmacy service here at Carolina Care. Since we implemented the RxSafe, we have freed up some significant pharmacist time, probably of the magnitude of 12 to 16 hours a week that was spent on dispensing activity, logging, perpetual inventory of controlled substances, manual inventories, all of that stuff As far as ROI goes, I would say that the RxSafe, I think it returned all of our costs back to us within a year, just in the way of savings for dispensing activities for our pharmacists.
The most attractive feature about the product was the ability to remotely handle all of our inventory, to have it neatly organized, and to be able to run reports in a matter of minutes that used to take me a number of days and a number of technicians to complete. One of the things we're able to do now that we were not able to do prior to purchasing the RxSafe is to effectively scale our synchronization program so that we're more profitable as a pharmacy. Utilizing both the ParadaMax and the RxSafe, it's safe to say that we effectively dispense 90% of our prescription volume each day.
In the first year, I believe that the RxSafe has paid for itself. Actually, with the increase in volume, we probably saved $150,000 to $200,000. Right now, we have a ParadaMax and the RxSafe. And since we have both, we're able to now just put one technician that's in charge of both. We had a day where we did 981 prescriptions. I don't think there's any way possible that we would have been able to do that in our setup prior to having the RxSafe.
We had, I think there was 8 technicians. Now with the RxSafe, we're running everything with 6 technicians. The RxSafe has probably saved me 25 or 30 hours a week. Saved me lots of time, saved my technicians time. I love this machine.
The RxSafe has allowed us to free up labor time among my technicians to concentrate on other programs and really expand our services, which is a big deal for us. When I was looking at the different automation options available to the pharmacy, cost, initial outlay, and then ongoing maintenance cost was a big determining factor. I found the RxSafe to be very reasonable in that regard. That was not the deciding factor. The deciding factor really had to do with the scope of service I could get from the machine or the overall system. The software associated with this robot does so much for my pharmacy, from inventory management to outdates to a lot more. It accomplishes more for me at a lower price than any other automation. So it was a slam dunk. I'd recommend any pharmacy, large or small, try the RxSafe. It really makes a big difference for our workflow, and I think it would for any pharmacy that I've ever visited. The RxSafe really just gets the job done for us, and we like that.